So we're asking about whether the changes are physical and chemical. So a little bit of a reminder. How do you know that a change is chemical? That's probably the easiest one to do. The physical ones are subtle, but you can easily find that it's a chemical change. What type of things are you looking for to indicate in your mind that there is a chemical change taking place? So you read it, you imagine it, and you ask yourself, is this an example of a chemical change? What are some of the things that you're thinking? Review from yesterday, yep. So did it get hot or really cold, that type of thing? Excellent, yep. Yeah, was a gas produced? Any of those things that we looked at yesterday. What were some other examples? Other people, yeah, Isaac? Yeah, distinct color change. What else did we have out there? What do we have? What do you think? Light is produced, awesome. So all of those things. How do you know whether the change is physical? What are you thinking to determine whether the change is physical? Or give me some examples of some physical changes that you know. What are physical changes? Yep. Change in state. Any of those changes of state, melting, boiling, vaporization, sublimation, that's when we go from a solid to a gas. So let's now go over these examples quickly and see if we can classify them. Water boils in a kettle. What kind of change is that? And if I go to you all the time, Jenna, no one else is going to answer. But because you're so, you got one, Conrad? What do you got? Correct, I like it, physical. So I'm going to put here physical, and why? Why would you state that it's physical, Conrad? Yeah, that's good. No new substance is formed. It's still water molecules. It's a change of state. I would accept that. No new substance. No new substance is formed. Propane burns in a barbecue. What kind of change is that? Shailene, what do you think? So we've got some propane. It comes out of the tank. It's a gas. We ignite it. What kind of change? Chemical. I like the question mark on it. Chemical. You're correct. It is chemical. Why would you say that it's chemical? It's not physical, so it's not just changing state. That's okay, but I'm going to want a little more. What about all those little bits of evidence of how we know a chemical reaction? Think about that baggy science. What types of things did you observe yesterday? Oh, you missed all the good stuff. Oh, yep. Yeah, light is produced, heat is produced, all of those examples. So light, heat, light. When you answer the questions in the sheet for the homework, please use a sentence. I'm just squeezing in some points, right? Light, heat, all right? Okay. Acid rain corrodes iron. What does corrosion mean? What is corrosion kind of another, that's a tough one maybe to think about. What do we mean it corrodes iron? Yeah? Yeah, kind of rusts it. It accelerates the rusting process. Excellent. So acid rain corrodes iron. What's that going to be? What is that going to be? What do we think? Chemical. Nice. Why would you say chemical? Yeah, I guess if you haven't seen it, it's hard to say. There is new substances formed. If it goes from being iron to being rust, what would you notice? What would be different? Yep. Yeah, you'd have a change in color. You'd be able to see that to be changing color. Color. Change. Excellent. An apple rots. Ooh, that's a tricky one. An apple rots. An apple is rotting. Yep. When you say it's shown in dark, it's chemical. Chemical, all right. Well, the apples don't melt, right? And apples don't evaporate, right? So chemical, correct. What do you notice about a good apple versus a rotten apple? Evidence. Yep. Yeah, I'd say color change. Definitely color change. sugar dissolves in hot tea?
Would students whose last names begin with the letters M through R who haven't yet had their picture taken, please go to Gym C now.
Go ahead if you got to go. Sugar dissolves. Don't bump my card if you could, because it'll change where I'm writing. Sugar dissolves. Yep. It is physical. Dissolving, when something goes into that water, it's still there. You just can't see it. It's just been spread out. So this is physical, and you know what? I would just take no new substance again. New substance. If we're talking about sugar, how do you know that the sugar molecules are still there in the solution? And I'm talking about some experience that you have. So you've all had sugar in maybe a beverage. How do you know that it's still sugar in there? What sense would you use to determine, hey, that's still sugar? Yep. Yeah, because if you had a big hunk of sugar, that's good, right? And if you put it in this thing, even though you don't see it, oh, it tastes just like the big hunk of sugar. So our receptors on our tongue are reacting to the same molecules. The molecules haven't changed in any way. So it tastes the same, the molecules are the same. Ooh, an egg is boiled, and I don't like the way that's worded. We're talking about the changes in the egg. It's not like we're actually evaporating an egg. We're using the heat of the water to do something to the egg. What kind of change? Yep. Yeah, the egg is changing chemically, right? So it's chemical. What might you see? What might you see in terms of the egg that would indicate to you that it's chemical? If you looked at the egg before you boiled it and you looked at the egg after, yep. Sorry? Well, it is a solid now, but that might lead you to think that it's a change of state. But you're right. So are you saying a new solid is formed, like a precipitate? I would agree with that. You've created these clumps of proteins, which then are now solid, and when before that they were liquid. That's like a precipitate. I would agree. A new solid is formed. Excellent. Sure. Color change, all kinds of things. New solid is formed. Solid is formed. That's like the one I said yesterday where my daughter was asking me about putting vinegar in the milk and it curdles the milk. That's a protein change, just like it is in the egg. So we're changing the way those proteins are chemically. Nice. Butter melts. Butter melts. Yep. Physical. Melting is physical, right? So butter melts, that's physical. Why? It's a change in state. Change of state, right? And that's different than the new solid being formed, right? Because the egg is not a change of state. It's a completely different solid being formed. Wood burns. What's it going to be? Wood burns. We got to get away from Jenna. She's going to have all the answers here. John, you got an answer? Chemical. Why is that? Heat. Yep, heat. Copper wire bends. Copper wire bends. Copper wire bends. Take a copper wire, bend it. Physical. Physical, no new substance. No new substance. A candle burns. I think we're starting to get the idea, right? Candle burns. Chemical. Heat / light. Snow melts. Snow melts. Chris, what do you think? Physical, change of state. Physical, change of state. Physical, change of, or change in state, change of state. Excellent. Okay. So at this point, I'm just going to put a stop on my recording.